You open the fridge, there's nothing there. So what's it gonna be? Greasy pizza? Sad drive-through burgers? Dish by Blue Apron is for nights like that. These are the pre-made meals of your dreams. At least 20 grams of protein, no artificial flavors or colors, no chopping, no cleanup, no guilt. Keep the flavor, ditch the subscription. Get 20% off your first 2 orders with code APRON20. Terms and conditions apply. Visit blueapron.com/terms for more.
All right, Tom, that was fun. It had a strange feel to it, that game, didn't it? 4 goals for United, and I think Dan and I complained on the last pod how United and Chelsea can't score goals. Got a few tonight.
Yeah, it could have been a few more, though, for both teams, actually. But it's always fun to just dump on Frank Lampard and dump on Chelsea like we did. It just felt so fun and weird that second half. Like, we were playing Chelsea, and it was like we were playing a team that had been relegated 5 weeks ago. It was bizarre.
Yeah, they created a few chances, didn't they, in that first half? But they're just such an absolute mess at the back. Just all over the place.
Yeah, like you said, they did create some good chances. Like Mudrik's one in the first half especially was really good. Like Lewis Hall looked like a decent player for them today.
He looked decent. He was probably their best player, wasn't he?
Yeah. They're probably one player who they haven't signed for a ridiculous fee in the last 12 months.
Well, he's in the shop window, isn't he? Their FFP position is such they really need to sell kids that come through the academy. Yeah.
And that's why Mason Mount's obviously being touted everywhere, left, right, and centre, and obviously Man United. But yeah, like a better team would have made us pay in that first half. But then also on the other side, like we should have scored so many more in that first half. We obviously scored 2, and we played pretty poorly, I'd probably say, in that first half. But like we still should have scored more. Like Martial, if he could have a first touch, there was 2 at least where he could have scored. There was another couple of first touches that went awry from others. It was just a really sloppy game all around, to be honest, from both teams, defensively and attacking.
It was, yeah. Obviously, United missing chances, Chelsea missing chances, really, really open. Had a odd feel to it. I mean, given that United had to win, and I guess Chelsea, it doesn't really matter for them. It had a sort of pre-season or testimonial feel to it. Maybe a bit more intensity than that, but just kind of way, way too open. I can't imagine Ten Hag would be happy watching that back, that United can see. I mean, City would obviously absolutely annihilate us if we're going to be that open against them in the cup final, which I'm sure we won't be.
But it felt like because Chelsea was so bad, we could just play in first or second gear throughout. And if Chelsea scored, I think we'd have just ratcheted it up, especially like when at 1-0 we were quite complacent.
Yeah.
But it just felt like we could always just find another gear if we wanted to. It was just, like you say, it did feel like a testimonial, despite the fact that we needed a result to qualify for the Champions League. But Chelsea are just bad. And it's really, really funny. And it's a delight to just see Frank sitting there with all the horror that he's witnessing in front of him piled onto his shoulders and piled onto his face. But yeah, it's just really like quite jarring to watch it.
I mean, I wish all the misery in the world professionally on Frank Lampard, just because really there's no real reason other than he's just fucking annoying.
He's a Tory as well.
And he's a Tory. And he just seems to like fail himself upwards into jobs. Like how?
Yeah.
How?
Well, this job, I thought when he got it, obviously like ridiculously lucky. For some reason, all the Chelsea fans wanted him to be appointed despite his terrible job last season. But I thought, well, he's got nothing to lose here. Like, he can't make his reputation any worse. If they beat Real Madrid, like like he could, maybe walk into the permanent job again. But like somehow he's made his reputation even worse. He's won one game away to Bournemouth, drew one against Forest at home. Like, it's incredible.
How
like,
many? 8?
Super frank, super shy.
If I mean, I know this is a ridiculous statement, but I think if you took the season from the end of October onwards, Chelsea would be a point above the relegation zone. I mean, they have been absolutely dreadful, and just the amount of money spent. And you kind of think that there's some talent in there. I mean, we know that Enzo Fernandez is a really good player, and he showed some of it tonight. He's better than what Chelsea are giving him the platform to sort of demonstrate at the moment. Mudryk, I can't tell really.
No.
I mean, I'd only seen bits of him before. Obviously, he's got a lot of speed. Ukraine Bolt is the nickname for him, which is a cracker.
Yeah, but Usain Bolt wasn't great, was he, really, either?
It wasn't
if you're comparing him to him, then I'm not sure that's the best comparison in the world.
I know, all speed, nothing else, that's why.
Yeah, quite similar, actually.
Yeah, and there's probably something in Nodon Madueke as well. I mean, obviously they spent a lot of money for a young player. He looks like he's got something. I do like Carney Chukwuemeka. I mean, I thought he was a really good youth prospect. They could really do with a forward who scores some goals, obviously, so could we. So.
Yeah. And to be fair, if they had that tonight, they might have made it a different game.
They might have done,
but
yeah.
I say that, but I also don't think that, because I feel if we had gone behind today, we would have just ratcheted up, and their defence was absolutely shocking. They were so bad at the back. Like Fofana, I mean, when he was at Leicester, he was one of the best defenders in the league. Yeah,
I know. Like, they spent 70-odd million. I know.
Yeah, but maybe that's what you do when you buy defenders for a lot of money from Leicester. They turn into, interesting prospect. But he was, I mean, obviously with a lot of their players, it is just a confidence thing, and also playing for a man like Frank Lampard can't be easy. Like, you see João Felix coming on and Frank giving him a few pointers, and you're like, I know you're a good player, mate, but like, I'm not going to listen to you as a manager.
No. João Felix, I mean, I'm assuming that Chelsea won't take up the option on him because I mean, one, they can't really afford it, I don't think, given how they need to strengthen elsewhere. And he's that was his 4th goal since arriving. I'm not sure he's justified the £20 million loan fee. I mean, obviously, it's a great goal as well. I mean,
it is mad that it was £20 million.
He's got this knack of scoring against us. Scored against us in the Champions League, scored against us in that pre-season friendly, scored against us tonight. So, but it just feels like they've got a lot of players that feel a bit like that. He's not a real number 9. I mean, and I guess you look at 2 teams today and there's not a real number 9 in the squad between them, really. I mean, Martial spent a lot of the time out on the left. To very little effect most of the time. I know he scored, but even he couldn't miss from there.
Yeah, that was a real... I mean, Martial's form, obviously, this season has been... Well, he's not played a lot of it, but very up and down. But I feel like that's one of his weakest games today. He epitomised the game in the fact of, in his sloppiness, but also he was praised a lot this season by Ten Hag for his pressing, but that is just gone. He just looks like he can't be bothered anymore.
It doesn't seem fit. Something physically not quite right with him, I think. Yeah. Jadon Sancho, bit frustrating at times today, not passing at the right time, which is the thing he's good at. Then finally found the pass for Martial's goal. And I thought he was actually quite good the other week, Jadon Sancho. And he gets a lot of stick because he's not direct. He's like the opposite of Alejandro Garnacho, who goes direct to everything and mucks it up 75% of the time and does something brilliant the rest of the time. And Jadon Sancho is quietly effective most of the time, but just not. It's not flashy and it's not enough for a player of his talent and price, I guess. But
interesting today, like he was much more effective, wasn't he, on the right hand side after Anthony got injured. Like all of his good work in the game basically came on that right hand side. There was a a moment where he made quite a bad pass just before he played the great pass for the goal. And that was like, I think maybe the third or fourth time where he made that kind of error, just like the wrong decision in the final third. And you're like, that's what you're good for. This is what we bought you for. We know you don't have the pace and the explosiveness, but the decision making in the final third is what we bought you for. And even that today was lacking. But I think after he made his assist, he got a lot better. Like he played the great ball for Garnacho, which forced a great save from Kepa. He played that nice little pass to Bruno where Bruno hit the bar after Victor Lindelof's great run and composure in the final third to find Sancho. It was an interesting game from Sancho. Like he's just like so many of our players, just really inconsistent. When he's good, he's good. Like his ball for Martial's goal was great. He just didn't think about it. He just played the right pass into like a perfect position. But yeah, he was doing that every week at Dortmund. He doesn't do that every week at United. He doesn't do that throughout a game. He's just
It's incredibly frustrating
as well.
Well, yeah. I mean, and maybe overthinking things, as you say. Maybe just when he has to just play it quickly. I mean, he definitely needs runners around him. I don't think it helps playing with like Bruno, Antony, Martial up front with him today. None of them particularly quick. I don't think that helps him particularly. I think you want pace around him in order that he can play the passes. So, Antony,
and also like knowing where those runners are going to be. Like, when you're in Dortmund and playing in a system, you know where each player is going to run. Whereas our team is such a chaotic team, and players kind of doing what they want, I guess, in a lot of regards. That's a lot harder for a player like that who's really intelligent to know where the runners are going to go, if the runners are even going in the first place. And I think that's why he struggles, because he does, like you say, he overthinks and he thinks, where is that runner going to go to? Whereas for the pass for the goal, it's Martial's going to have to run into that space. I can just play that pass there, and it's nice and easy. Hopefully that will come as Ten Hag builds a system. But yeah, it's been 2 years of frustration, and I can see why people do get frustrated, and especially like today, like the real times of frustration, but real times of excellence as well.
It'd be interesting who's going to get the nod for the cup final. I mean, is it going to be Jadon Sancho, or do you play Garnacho off the right? It's not really his preferred position, is it? I mean, I'm not sure that Anthony Martial's has done much to justify being in the team, so you could jiggle that front line around and play Rashford, Garnacho and Sancho. So they're all kind of playing for a position. I'm just making the assumption that Anthony isn't going to be fit because he seemed in a lot of distress when he went down, although he tried to get up. It seems really bad if you're like lying on the floor in agony and you're like, I'll try and run it off. It's just a scratch.
I think that's what Donny van de Beek did as well, didn't he, early in the season? I think he walked off the pitch.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know if you should be doing that.
No, that's right. Leg falls off and you're like, yeah. Anyway, I mean, hopefully it's not as bad as it looked, but it looked like it looked like ligaments rather than a broken leg, didn't it? And maybe like ankle ligaments, and that could be months.
Yeah, I only saw one replay. I don't know if they showed more on your feed, or I missed a replay or something, but it seemed like, his leg kind of got caught under the trailing leg of...
Yeah.
I can't remember who made it. I think it's
Azpilicueta, I think.
Whoever it was, it kind of looked like his leg got caught underneath. And it's one of those as well with Antony, like, not to kind of downplay what happened, but at the time, especially, you kind of just thinking, he just wants a foul here. Because it's so often like that. Him and Bruno, you can't tell if they're being serious or not. And then you realise, actually, and then you see him stand up and you're like, wow, this is really good acting. Like, I genuinely believe that you were hurt. And then, oh no, you actually are hurt. Like, you can't stand up on your leg. Like, sorry. Like, it's hard. It's like the boy who cried wolf, isn't it? Very much.
And Bruno, I mean, obviously went down quite easily for the first penalty shout, although I mean, there's some contact there, isn't there? Not much, but then it's definitely fouled for the second one where he megged. Who did he meg? Was he meg? He megged Fofana. Made him look like a bit of a fool. So.
And that was like, I don't know if this resonates with you, but a five-a-side, if someone nutmegs me, I do sometimes just lose my cool, lose my ego a little bit, and just kick the guy as he runs past. And that's exactly like what Fofana is doing there, but in a professional game
Yeah,
at Old Trafford.
I
It's
know.
probably not quite the same.
Humiliated by getting megged and humiliated by hacking down the opponent to give a penalty away. It's I suppose we should talk through some of the goals. I mean, Casemiro, great header. I'm not sure I knew he was so good in the air, but he's very good in the air.
Yeah, his goal against Chelsea away was one of my highlights of the season. I think because it came in a game where I didn't realise Chelsea was so shit at that point in the season. I thought it was such a big goal. It felt like such a big goal because I think there were others in the table. And he just pops up with these great headers, and he's, like you say, he's so good in the air. He's what I thought Harry Maguire was in the air when we signed him. I thought this was what we were going to get from Maguire, but
without big cost.
And he also like Casemiro. I don't know how many there's been this season, but it feels like there's been 3 or 4 where he's timing that run to absolute perfection. By the way, like today's onside by a millimeter, cup final onside by a millimeter. I think that the one against Chelsea, he was onside by a couple of millimeters or so. Like it's an art, and like he was great. And obviously, like his pass for the second goal is just outrageous from a player.
Outrageous, no look. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting how good he is in those attacking spaces because nominally he's the defensive player in this team, isn't he?
Yeah.
But give him a chance to move forward, and he's just really good all over the pitch, and seems to got his mojo back. I think he seemed to lose it for a few weeks after the Carabao Cup, and just didn't seem to be quite on it. Looked tired. Maybe the couple of weeks we've had with no midweek game has given him a bit of a refresher.
He still does this weird thing where, like, I don't know if you ever play FIFA, but like, you ever play like pro clubs where you just control one man and like that one man is just basically sliding all over the place. He does that so often. Like he's just like in the first half today, he's like sliding. He's like, what are you doing? Like,
you'd think he'd
sometimes it works to
dive
perfection.
in.
But other times it's like you're nowhere near the ball at this point, and like that you are the defensive midfielder. And I think you spoke earlier in the season about like his want to slide is maybe because of his physicality dipping, and it does leave us vulnerable. Like I joke about it and be like, what are you doing at times? But like it is a bit silly. Like at times he obviously wins the ball. He made a great tackle on Enzo in the second half, and Enzo even like gave him a tap back for like, that was a great tackle. But like other times he's just sliding in like, come on, mate.
Well, and he got a red card with that this season, so he's got to be careful for sure. Yeah, and I guess we couldn't do it. Like, would he have been banned for the cup final if he'd got a red card? It's domestic competitions, isn't it? So it probably would have been.
I don't know if you saw it after the penalty where he was like hugging Aspilicueta, and I was like,
steady on.
I don't trust these VARs. Like after the Will Hughes one,
exactly.
In the season,
slow it right down and take it out of context.
Exactly. It's like they're going to think he's got him in a headlock.
There was a bit of handbags, wasn't there? After who was it that jumped into? It's jumped into David De Gea and then landed on him, and Dave shoved him in the arse, and all a bit petty. That's the most aggressive Dave's been in the box for some time. That is.
It is, yeah. Made a couple of good saves today.
Yeah. One that rolled along the ground from Mudryk, and Dave did his best to try and dive over it and accidentally got a hand to it, I think.
That was really, really rolling as well, wasn't it? I don't even know if it had got to the goal, to be fair.
Yeah. Other thing you note, Marcus Rashford, 30 goals for the season. First time a United player's got 30 goals in the season since Robin van Persie.
Wow.
It's quite the record. Yeah.
Yeah, he looked really lively when he came on, actually.
He did. I'm glad they hadn't risked him for 2. I mean, obviously he played more than they were probably planning to play him. I mean, he'd been training and then he got ill, unspecified. Don't know what it was. But he seems back on it. So it'd be interesting to see what happens next weekend, or not next week, on Sunday against Fulham. Because Ten Hag doesn't like to rotate, doesn't tend to want to have the players out of rhythm. But you don't want to take any risks, do you?
Yeah, I was thinking today, like, why is Casemiro still on the pitch?
right till the end. Yeah.
Yeah. And I thought, because we were 1-0 up and I guess complacent, but also reasonably comfortable at 1-0 because Chelsea was so bad. I was a bit surprised to see Rashford coming on rather than Garnacho as well. Like,
Yeah.
I thought,
yeah,
it's only 20, 25 minutes into the game. I thought Garnacho would be the preferred. And also, Garnacho's been great like the last few games that he's come on. And maybe he just thinks, I'm just going to keep doing that and keep getting the best out of him that way. But yeah, I thought it was a bit of a risk, I guess, especially 10 days out from a cup final.
Yeah, I know. Looks like we lost Anthony, so definitely don't need any more injuries. I mean, I think they took Shaw off, didn't they, at half-time, just as a precaution, had been injured. And I suppose I should say Victor Lindelof, excellent at the back again today. A couple of really good challenges in the second half. And the pre-assist as well for the goal. So one of the goals.
Yeah, it's so interesting just watching Lindelof. Like, I don't know if he looks like a different player, but he has so much more confidence around him playing next to Varane rather than that mess of a man, Maguire. But yeah, I thought Malacia did really well as well, actually, coming on.
Yeah.
Like, he'd been a bit off form, but I mean, I also think, I'm talking about individual performances and everyone did quite well, but Chelsea were really, really terrible. So I guess that helps.
Yeah. Yeah. The desire has gone out of this Chelsea side for sure. They're all looking at the beach, aren't they? Although they're going to find, I think, with Pochettino coming in, they'll probably be back quite early and doing a lot of brutal fitness work. So that'll be a shock to the system. So
yeah, just to see how they are next season. Like, I don't know. Maybe this comes back to haunt me, but I don't feel like their current squad has enough raw materials to be challenging for top four. Like, I don't think they're a threat right now, looking at their squad, but they're going to buy, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they will. I'm sure they'll bring in a forwards. I mean, they'll try and offload Lukaku. Might not be able to get anyone to take him on what would be the amortization fee plus the book fee. At least you'd be looking for, plus massive wages. So it's still going to be like £50 million fee or something like that. That might be a struggle. I don't suppose Lukaku really wants to be back there. Is he the prototype Pochettino forward? Not sure he is, really, but we'll see. So, yeah, they got to spend on a forward. I guess it depends on Conte and his fitness and contract situation. They might need another defensive player in midfield there. So, yeah.
It's weird. For all the money that they've spent, like, you don't look at their squad, you don't look at their team today and go, actually, their team on paper is really good. Like, actually, their team on paper still isn't that great, really. It's got like there's a lot of young players. A lot. And like it's I think their youngest Premier League team they've ever had today. And you obviously look at that, and there's potential there. But I mean, we've known that at United for so many years. We've had a lot of players with potential who have ended up not even remotely fulfilling that potential. And obviously, Pochettino is a manager who can get the best out of players. But Pochettino, are his best days gone? I don't know.
It's hard to say. I mean, it was an odd choice going to PSG with Neymar, Mbappe, and Messi. And you're a coach like suppressed from the front. Mm-hmm. So it's I mean, it is said that players do a lot of analysis now, or at least their team, their management teams do, on like, are they going to be a good fit with the destination club, and it didn't feel like that was ever a good fit. But maybe he'd been out of work for a while and he was just keen to get back into it. Elite club, chance of having to go to the Champions League and all that. So I mean, I think the raw materials here feel like they might suit him. A couple of additions, and just depends on how trigger happy the Todd Boehly and team are, really. I mean, I guess they couldn't keep on with Potter. It just got so bad. So they jumped out of the frying pan into the fire, and the maestro that is Frank Lampard. So, but if they're prepared to give Pochettino a couple of years, I'm sure he'd shape this into a decent side. A lot of raw materials there. And Ten Hag on the other side, I mean, you've got to say, a trophy, another cup final to come, hopefully ruin City's chance of a treble, and a top 4 finish. That's a successful season, isn't it?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, I've taken it last summer before the game was kicked, and I'd have taken it 100, like absolutely snap your hand off after 2 games. It's I don't know about remarkable turnaround, but it is some turnaround. Like you say, to win a trophy and to comfortably, I guess, finish top 4 with a game to spare. I guess can be seen potentially as comfortable. It didn't feel it a few weeks ago. It didn't feel it on Saturday going into the game. I was thinking we're not going to win away at Bournemouth because our away form's been shocking, and Liverpool is surely going to beat Villa, who have dropped off a little bit. But yeah, like now looking at it, just looking back on the season, and you see the squads, how many holes are in the squad, the injuries we've had at crucial times in the season, the amount of games we've had to play because we've prioritized pretty much every single game this season. We've had to, I guess, if you have the ambition that Ten Hag has had this season, where he wants to go for every trophy, and we ended up losing that Sociedad game, so we had to take every group game really seriously in the Europa League to try and get a couple of games off, which we obviously didn't. Like, it's been a really, really difficult season for him, and like his pragmatism, as I've said a number of times on this show, has been like the biggest plus for me. I think there's so much work to do, like so much work. Like in terms of our, like defensively today, we were so sloppy. Attacking wise, there's still not enough attacking patterns there for me. Like I was saying about where Sancho should know where the players are going to run. It's way too chaotic. It's too latter day Arsene Wenger, where like that's kind of how they used to play. He used to just kind of say to the forward players, just kind of play how you want, and sometimes it works and sometimes it didn't. Like he needs to kind of distill that chaos into something that's a lot more methodical, I think, for us to be pressing for titles like Premier League titles and Champions League titles. And there is a long way to go, but yeah, you can't complain about the first season. And especially, like I say, especially after those first 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he's got a vision. He knows how he wants his team to play. It's not fully rounded. He'll make compromises. He has had to make compromises, and he gets most of it right. Like the lack of rotation in some games, you can question, because it definitely did have an impact downstream, for sure, I think. And the fact that he picked Wout Weghorst in like 25 games in a row, you can kind of question that as well. I mean, desperate times and all that, but the end result from, I mean, we're talking about chaos at Chelsea. What about the chaos at United under Ralf Rangnick the end of last season? It was absolutely miserable, wasn't it? So I don't know if our record under Rangnick was worse than Lampard's at Chelsea. I think it was, but it can't have been that far off. And so you look at where we were then to now, it feels like good progress. And the challenge now for Ten Hag, but mostly for the club, really, is to get the balance of the squad right for next season, to do it early so they can join pre-season, because pre-season is like 97 games. No World Cup in the summer. Let's have the longest tour you've ever imagined, like spanning 15 different continents. It's
and if we do get the summer right, and that is a massive if, because we've been here so many times before saying, oh yeah, with 3 or 4 signings we could challenge next season.
Yeah.
But if we do get it right, like that rotation thing, which has been such a big problem, won't be a problem next season, because in a lot of respects, like Ten Hag has had to play, he's building a new system, he's building a new philosophy at the club. Like, he kind of needs to have a stable team from game to game, so those players know how to play the system. And also the fact that our squad has so many holes in it, when you're pulling out, well, you're not going to pull out Rashford, you're not going to pull out Casemiro, you're not going to pull out Eriksen, because the player that's coming in to replace him is nowhere near the level. And hopefully, if we do end up having a really good summer, then you can pull out Casemiro for a game and it won't hamper the team. You can pull out Eriksen, it won't hamper the team. you can pull out Rashford. They might hamper it a little bit, but hopefully the player coming in will be as good as the next player. And that's what Arsenal struggled with this season as well. And that's why City, with all their financial doping, are the best team in the world at the moment, because they can pull off Mahrez and bring on Foden. They can bring off Grealish and bring on Bernardo Silva or whatever it is. Like that, just having 2 players for every position makes your job so much easier. It's like,
that's right.
I don't know, whoever's played Football Manager, like having a team who have got 100% fitness is so important in the game. And it's almost like the same as like real life, really. And our players have been playing at what? You look at Rashford. A lot of games recently, he's been playing at what, 80%, 70%?
Yeah.
Casemiro similar, Eriksen similar, because they've been having to play so many games. And we've joked about how Ten Hag hates rotating and he thinks tiredness is kind of like a mental obstacle that can be overcome. But if we do have 2 players for every position, then that doesn't become an issue. And hopefully with a good summer, that can happen. And we get Harry Kane in fucking, winning the league, aren't we?
Yeah, no, easy, 100 points in the bag. Put the money on right now. Yeah, it's. I mean, look, obviously today's helped juice our XG figures a little bit, but they're well off our expected goals. Yeah, and that just tells you we're creating plenty of chances. Bruno should have double the number of assists that he's got, and it just need a good forward in there.
Yeah,
really. And honestly, you could even take a forward who's not as good as Harry Kane, and it would have made the world of difference. But yeah, obviously, you stick Harry Kane in there, and he's going to get 20-odd goals in the season, and United would be further up the table in a much better position. I guess it's a good segue to talk about the week's gossip on transfers, with United apparently interested in Mason Mount. I mean, I can't say it's one that gets me incredibly excited. I think I'm a little bit split with him, because he had a really good season last season. The data supports that as well. And then he's had obviously pretty average one this season, but his numbers look like they just reverted to the mean, really. He's a good progressive passer. He's a very good player on the defensive side of things, breaks up play. He's a great trigger for the press. That's why Gareth Southgate likes him so much. But he's just not a particularly good creative player. And I always looked at him and thought he'd be better at 8 than 10. He spent most of his sort of career at 10, and it just didn't seem like the right position for him. But I presume if United are serious and it's not just paper gossip, that's to play him at 8, not 10, because that's Bruno's position.
Yeah, he feels to me like a Dortmund player, like a systems player, like almost like a bit of a Marco Reus type, where like he's better with loads of, well, a bit like Sancho, I guess, in some regards. Like he's better making other players better. Like you look at like other players that he's compared a lot to unfairly in and around the England setup, like the Grealish, Maddison, Foden, I guess, those types of 10s that Mount's obviously found himself playing in a lot of in that position a lot, and being compared to those types of players. He's so different to that because he's not flashy, but he's a really smart footballer, and I think in the right system he'd be really good. I'm also kind of 100%, not really 100% sold on him. I think he's also one of them players that if you saw him every single week, you'd realise how good he is. But I don't watch Chelsea every single week either, or didn't watch Chelsea every single week, and I don't maybe appreciate him as much. But when back when he came through the system, I'm pretty sure it was the same system when Foden and Sancho, and I think he played in that World Cup winning team back then. And I remember, I used to watch a lot of youth football back then. I remember thinking that Mount was the one. Like his intelligence, like the other two were obviously great, but his intelligence was so like extraordinary that I thought he was the one who was going to be the best of the three. And I feel like he has dipped from there, and he doesn't have the technical ability of the others. Like, and even like compared to Maddison and Grealish, like I say, he gets compared to a lot, and especially by England fans. I think England fans always hate on him, like saying, "Oh, why is Mount playing?" And like you say, Southgate loves him
because he's a good defensive player.
Exactly, he's got, and he makes like those players around him look better. But then having said all that, putting him into the United team, and I know why Ten Hag would like that type of player, because it brings more control to the team. He doesn't give the ball away that much. Mm-hmm. isn't chaotic. But then we've got so many chaotic players. How does he fit in with that? And I think he'd fit in nicely with Sancho. But then again, like you say, he's not that creative. So I don't really.
No,
I think
they're looking.
Yeah, I can understand this
square
signing,
hole.
but eventually,
I wonder whether it's trying to pull off the same trick they did with Eriksen this season, but like converting from a more attacking player into a central midfielder, number 8 style player, and but just someone who can last 90 minutes because Eriksen clearly can't.
Mm-hmm.
So and he's a good progressor of the ball.
Yeah,
so we'll see. I mean, who knows? Speculation, but he's out of contract in 24. It doesn't seem to have signed it. He's on a relatively low wage. They're probably offering him a 97-year contract on not much more than he's earning, the usual thing. But it makes a lot of sense for Chelsea to sell now because they'll be able to book the whole fee. And they kind of need to do that given their financial fair play position if he's not going to sign a contract. So we'll see. I mean, Ornstein saying that Mount prefers the move to United above anyone else. Don't know why. Maybe grew up a United fan coming from Portsmouth. Not sure. But apparently. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I guess because just Champions League helps as well. Like if his preference is Liverpool, or his other option is Liverpool. But obviously Ornstein said that, but like he says his preference is United. Does that mean that United are interested in him? I didn't know if he... Was that kind of read between the lines?
I think that's the implication. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. A lot will depend on the ownership situation, and we haven't heard a thing for weeks since the final round of bidding. It's very odd. Yeah, although there was a little bit more detail on the apparent falling out between Rain Group, the bank that organising the selling process, and the Qatari bid. It seems like, just reading between the lines, they haven't ponied up the... I mean, it's not like they're going to be lacking proof of funds, but you've got to demonstrate to pass the owners and directors test that the what's the right word for this? The gives with a P. Go on, Ed.
Yeah, you
words
know this
hard to say. Providence of that money. So, like, where it's come from, and clearly it's a state bid, so it's come from the Emir's bank account in Sheikh Yassim's newly formed foundation, which doesn't have any employees or do anything. So yeah, clearly they're going to have to do some shenanigans there. But anyway, that's it, I think. And there must be a lot of frustration on all sides that it's being dragged out so much. With the two said to be the preferred bidders, but we've had no actual confirmation of that. With Qataris, apparently, it seems, and with Erik ten Hag, I imagine, because, I mean, the club will be able to move forward on transfers. It's just you're going to have the hand of Joel Glazer on it, slowing things down.
Yeah.
And with the fans, obviously, because we want those fuckers out.
Yeah. And it's going to... You just really want us to... And it happens every summer, like, you just want us to get some early business in as well. Like,
yeah,
that is so important. Like, we've obviously just had the discussion about how we need to really stock up on players for the new season, and the longer it just drags out. Like, when did this all start? Like December?
November,
was it?
Yeah.
And...
No, that's right. And well, look, Murta and Andy O'Brien on the football side of things, and I mean, presumably they'll at least have an idea of their budget now. United are going to be back in the Champions League. There's extra revenue coming from that. There's no discount on the main sponsorship deal. Obviously, we don't know what's happening with the front of the shirt sponsor. I guess they may be waiting to decide Qatari front will be there, or whether it will be Ineos, related parties, whatever. And that, so that's unclear. Either way, they can put a big number on that, because United put up a world record front of shirt sponsorship with the Chevrolet deal, so they could go and put £65 million on the books there, no problem, without any questions, even under the new rules. So they should be able to guesstimate a budget and should be able to work with that. You just wonder what kind of fucking about the Glazers may be doing on that front.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, they've seen it. I think everyone must be just so tired of it. Like,
oh yeah, I'm jaded.
Yeah, we just don't want to have all these conversations about Qatar anymore.
No,
it would just be absolutely beautiful. I mean, like we've spoken about so many times before, but like there are a lot of downsides to Ratcliffe taking over as well. But it would be just beautiful never to have to hear about Qatar again, or never have to think about that anymore. Like if they don't.
Well, we got a reminder this week of what's likely to happen. So Newcastle negotiating, air quotes here. Or you can see it because we put out clips now. So it's not just a podcast. Negotiating with, what are they called? Seller Events, is it? And who are a PIF-owned company, who PIF is the public, underline in bold letters, public investment fund, the National Investment Fund of the Saudi Arabia, headed by Mohammed bin Salman. Absolutely nothing to do with the government, of course, even though he's head of state. Anyway, so they're all related. So this is a company owned by the Public Investment Fund, whose CEO is also on the board of a bunch of other companies owned by the Public Investment Fund. And they are, of course, the owners of Newcastle as well. So very much a related party. But yeah, they're looking to more than triple their front of shirt revenue as a result.
And like both of the things that have happened over the last few days, Man City winning the league, Newcastle getting the top four, like you can't think about it without thinking about states like sports washing. Like their all success is just being tainted by their ownership. And that's exactly what would happen to United if we were in the same position. I don't see why people would want that. Like, I don't know if you read Alan Shearer's. Well, I didn't read it. I only heard it on Second Captains, where they absolutely eviscerated it.
Really, like, yeah. It just the man is so pathetic.
Oh,
it's just so pathetic.
Absolutely, it's like so sickening, and also like the lack of self-awareness, the lack of, I guess, almost the fear of being. I guess that's what the public Newcastle fans have now, is a fear that if they mention anything to do with Saudi, they'll just get eaten alive by the Newcastle fans, because that is literally what happens. I was looking through this NUFC against sports washing Twitter account the other day, put out a great thread, and the amount of Newcastle fans in there just absolutely hating on them, like, oh, you're not Newcastle fans, you're Mackems in disguise, blah blah blah. And I guess there is a fear from like people like Alan Shearer who can't say that, but to write something like that, like, and I guess the Athletic have come to him saying we need a peace after what's happened, but it's just sickening. Like, it's really grim. And like, if Gary Lineker,
he's part of the PR machine. Right? So, like, if you do that, you are fulfilling the aims and wishes of, at least partly the aims and wishes of what the owners want there. I mean, I do think it's slightly like the Newcastle sports washing is slightly different than the Abu Dhabi sports washing, right? As in Newcastle, like, sports and entertainment is a key tenet of their internal political process in Saudi Arabia. It's a very, very young population, and this is part of the kind of reframing of bin Salman as a modernizer. It's not just for sort of quote unquote Western audiences, where I think Abu Dhabi, there is a lot of internationalization to what they're trying to do, but the process is the same, right? It's get the fans on board, weaponize the fans, get the media to be complicit, because the media don't want to say in every single article, 5th paragraph down, and this is a state-owned club that is doing this for X, Y, and Z reasons. So, and they don't, as a result. And especially with the Athletic now being such a prominent voice in the kind of sports media, their model is about like getting subscriptions from fans based on local reporting. And that's it. That's just their model. And therefore, what do you see? George Culkin and Alan Shearer just being absolute cheerleaders for Newcastle and the aims of the regime that's in control there, right? And you see it with the other local, like Luke Edwards at the Telegraph as well, doing exactly the same thing, and to the point that it's pathetic obsequiousness, because they fear losing access if they are not that. So it's but this is part of the playbook. You weaponize fans, you weaponize the media, you control the narrative. And it's sadly, very easy to do. And if United end up getting taken over by Qatar, and it seems like a very live, real possibility still, then probably regularly we'll get 3 state-owned clubs as representatives of England in the Champions League.
What a delight.
And the only other options will be private equity-backed clubs.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Yeah, football is not in a good position right now.
No. United play Fulham on Sunday. For the sharp segue there, but play Fulham, who are just owned by your bog standard billionaire. It's kind of refreshing, isn't it?
Shahid
Just,
Khan, is it?
Your usual. Yeah, that's right. He also owns Jacksonville Jaguars, who did well in this year, didn't they, in the NFL?
Yeah, for one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna, like you say, it's good. Ten Hag does not like to rotate, but you think, what are we 9 days out from the cup final? You think that.
At home to Fulham.
Yeah, and it'd be nice to see some of the youngsters as well, to be honest. I love watching those lads play. Like, I don't know how fit like Kobe Mainu or Zidane Iqbal are at the moment, but it'd be nice to see both of them play. And Garnacho, I guess, from the start, and maybe Alanga, I guess, get a bit of a run. Weghorst, maybe. Why not? One final swan song.
Exactly, yeah.
Delight.
Yeah, he can do the lap of honour, can't he? And wave goodbye to Old Trafford.
Debut for Jack Butland.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Tom Heaton.
Yeah.
So
maybe do a half each.
I think Heaton's out of contract, so we'll see. It might be his last appearance at Old Trafford. Although United, depending on what they do in the summer, there may be some. You need to have 8 homegrown players in the squad, and a few of the fringe players that you'd expect to go, like Henderson, Maguire, maybe even Alanga, are all homegrown. So it's
I guess it'll be interesting to see what we do with the lads out on loan as well. Like Ahmad, from what I've seen this season, has to come into the first team. I'd say. I think he's good. I think he's that good.
Yeah. He deserves a chance, doesn't he?
Yeah, and like he was such a weird signing, and I mean, I've had a go at our scouts so many times on this podcast, but if this lad turns out to be a first team regular at United, then them scouts needs all the praise in the world, because how the hell have they done that? Like the lad that played like 2 games for Atalanta and then just didn't look. He looked fine, didn't he? He looked like a good player, and then all of a sudden, like he didn't play that much at Rangers last season. He scored a few goals, and obviously they were doing well when he went into that team. And then this season, he looks like wow, like he looks like such a player, like so much ability. It's an incredible signing if he turns out to be a first team regular.
Yeah, well, there's a few steps to get in there.
Yeah, there is.
But look, he'll spend time on tour in the summer. Ten Hag will get to spend some more time with him on the training pitch. I think they're going to be back at the end of July, aren't they? I can't remember when the first game is. Is it the New York game against Arsenal or the Dortmund game?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, there's a game in New York. There's a game in San Diego's, I think, the first one, actually. Maybe it's San Diego, Vegas, New York.
Not too far from you, is it? How long is that? About 15-hour drive or something?
Vegas, it's 1,500 miles. So, I could do it in 2 days, I suppose, or fly.
Yeah.
Which is, I have been thinking about going. It's like I'm just weighing up the logistics and timing and stuff like that.
What about San Diego? Is that a bit further?
It's further. Yeah. I mean, I think I mentioned on the pod I did the road trip down to LA. A few weeks back. So it'd be another 4 hours on from LA. Again, you could at a push do it in 2 days if you were driving, or obviously it's 3-hour flight or something like that. But the tickets are they're insane for that one. They're like $400 each.
Wow.
So for a friendly in which they've already said it will be the kids in that game.
You could see Beyonce for that as well.
Vegas is always fun though. Not for two.
Is that at the Vegas ground? I guess it must be.
Allegiant Stadium, yeah. It's just the south end of the Strip. If those of you who know Vegas, I've had a few. I used to go there quite a bit for work purposes, and of course, everyone's on expenses, and you're like, we'll have a few too many drinks and a visit to the country club, quote unquote. So
it's a wild place. Like I know they used.
Well, it's kind of It's not. It's wild because it doesn't. It's not like I know it's like the kind of reputation and all that, but it's just weird because you feel like you're in a city themed theme park.
Yeah, it does feel like a theme park. It's like a theme park for adults, and because of the amount of like sensory overload that you feel because there's just lights and stuff going on all the time. It gives you this real high of being like, I remember there used to be,
and that's the whole point, isn't it?
There used to be that stupid thing that they said, oh yeah, they pump oxygen into the casinos and that's why everyone feels so energetic all the time. But I think if they did that, then places would blow up. But like, you do feel like such a high, and then you leave it and you're like, oh my God, I feel horrendous. Such a crash.
I think, I can't remember, it might be either my first or one of the first trips I ever took there. I ended up in the Frontier Hotel, which doesn't exist anymore. So this was a few years back, watching Lady Bikini Bronco.
Wow.
At 4 a.m. And I turned to my friend, and I was like, what are we doing? What are we doing with ourselves? Why are we doing this? And so it's that kind of place where you regret all your life choices.
Oh my God, yeah.
And anyway, Eric, don't let the lads out because there'll be some trouble.
Oh man, so it's hard not to get into trouble there. It just doesn't feel real. Like you say, it's like a theme park.
Should mention for the women's team away at Liverpool on Saturday. Still got a chance of winning WSL. It seems unlikely. Chelsea are at home to the Reading, the bottom team. So, and Chelsea being on a real tear at the moment. But still in with a chance. And even if they don't win the league, they're going to qualify for the Champions League. That's a big step up for the club.
It's a huge leap this season. Like a huge leap. I don't think anyone expected us to leap that huge either. Like, but then it also feels like quite not disappointing because we've done all we can for the last few months, just winning. And just to see Chelsea doing exactly the same, it's like, it's really frustrating.
And putting up those huge numbers as well. So they took goal difference out of the equation. So
it's it's so good in so many respects, but then it's also frustrating because you feel like they couldn't have done much more to. And I guess that's a good thing, really.
No, they couldn't. And they played well in the cup final as well. I mean, they played well.
Yeah.
And it's just that one moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, there's progression forward. I guess the question is, can they keep their better players? Looks like Onabache is off to Barcelona. It's been a rumor. It's been a rumor for a long time, but a few accounts confirming that. And Alessia Russo still not signed a contract, and a lot of chatter. I don't know the truth of it because the actual overall wage budget is fairly healthy in WSL terms, but a lot of chatter about United sort of not putting up the contract numbers that they need to keep these players on board. And there'll be two, if it works out like that, there'll be two really big losses.
Yeah, huge. And I think that's what I kind of mean by it, like how frustrating it is as well, because I feel like if we won the league, I feel like the club would buy into the whole project more and there'd be more focus on it and they'd put more money into it. Whereas now, like coming short, the players as well might not feel like this is the right club for me. Like I feel like that's the way that Alessia Russo's looked at the last 2 years at United. Whereas if we'd have maybe gone on and established ourselves as we're gonna be here every year now. This is what we are. But you think if we lose 2 or 3 players in the summer, it's so difficult to be going for those Champions League spots because the other top the teams are like obviously City and Arsenal are really strong as well. So it's difficult.
Yeah. And United benefited from City having quite a lot of turnover in the squad last summer. I think that's a transitional season for them, and you expect them to be stronger next year. So yes, this may well have been the big opportunity. Yeah. We'll see. I mean, the irony, of course, is the fact I don't know what Ineos's take could be on the women's team, but the Qataris have made a big fuss about investing in the women's team in their PR, and probably would, because if you think about what they've done at Paris Saint-Germain. And supporting all the things you might not expect, like rainbow campaigns and stuff like that, because that's part of the sports washing, right? Look at this thing, not at what we do domestically.
Yeah.
And not to get back onto that, my favourite soapbox. It really isn't. I because I love being called a racist every week. I really do. Yeah. And anyway, so yeah, there may be some irony is not the right word, but there may actually be some money pumped into that team. But well, we'll see. Anyway, good luck. Good luck.
Yeah, they need a big striker. They need a big striker look as well. Like it's not the United team don't need the look, but Reading. Yeah.
They need Chelsea to come down with a group-wide, squad-wide food poisoning or something like that.
Tottenham team before that last game of the season all those years ago. Was it the lasagna?
Yeah, that's it. So anyone who's near the Chelsea, wherever they're staying the night before and wants to slip in some dodgy eggs into the casserole or whatever. Yeah. All right. I guess that's it, folks. Thanks a lot for listening to us ramble for an hour. And good to talk to you again, Tom.
Cheers. Thank you.
Catch you after the weekend.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.